The film opens in Miami, where a hitwoman named Kiara targets a black op from the Shadow Force, a dangerously evil organization of assassins. From an opposing building, she takes a precise shot at the black op and assassinates him. On the other hand, we see a single father named Isaac, who spends all his time pampering his son Kai. At night, he recalls his wedding day, revealing his wife to be none other than Kiara, who has already moved on to her next target. The next day, Isaac takes Kai to get enrolled in a school, but briefly stops by at a bank, where some masked men with guns barge in and take everyone hostage. When they point their gun at Kai, Isaac loses his calm and wreaks havoc on them. After a 1-second blackout, we see everyone has dropped dead. Isaac realizes he's exposed his cover, so he dashes out of there with Kai. The scenes shift to the head of the Shadow Force, Jack, who left the CIA to seek opportunities in the criminal world. With Shadow Force down, he's erected a new organization called the G7. Currently, his people show him Isaac's footage from the bank, which leaves him in awe. It turns out that he had been looking for Isaac and Kiara for ages since they quit the Shadow Force and disappeared from the face of the earth. Now that his prime target has been resurfaced, he makes multiple assassins aware of him through an illegal server on the dark web. Kiara also watches the bank footage on the server and becomes concerned for Kai. The scenes briefly spin to two assassins in Spain, who go by the names Aunt and Uncle. Aunt also logs into the server and finds Isaac's footage, which leaves her in shock. Apart from the assassins, Isaac is seen driving his son to safety. Next, Jack arrives at the G7 command center, where he holds a meeting with the heads of several intelligence and law enforcement agencies, including the CIA, to devise a plan to capture Isaac. Knowing that Isaac is the most dangerous when threatened, Jack plans to form a special team to capture him. Back on Isaac's side, he takes Kai to his hideout, which is under a sewer network in the middle of the Colombian tropical jungle. The following night, he cooks for Kai and keeps him distracted from what's going on. On the other hand, Kiara is seen worrying about her family in silence. The story shifts to a flashback from 4 years ago, when Isaac and Kiara were still part of the Shadow Force. While bandaging Isaac's wound, Kiara plans to take down the Shadow Force after figuring out that the organization is evil. Kiara knows that Jack will come after them. Therefore, she suggests separating herself from Isaac so he can keep Kai in hiding while she goes on a spree to kill everyone in the Shadow Force, which explains the film's beginning. Presently, Kiara contacts Aunt from Spain through an encrypted chat platform. Kiara's biggest concern is Kai, so Aunt offers protection for him. Later that night, Isaac wakes up to some commotion in his hideout. He becomes alert and takes out his gun immediately. When he takes a look around, he is attacked by Kiara, who has covered her face with a scarf. During a steaming fight, Isaac takes off her scarf and finds out it's his wife. Despite being surprised, the two continue to fight. Kiara scolds him for blowing his cover and putting Kai's life at risk. Amidst their fight, Kai wakes up and interrupts their fight. The two immediately stop seeing Kai. Kiara's eyes become teary to see her son after 4 years. She slowly walks closer to him to introduce herself, but Kai recognizes her, even though he was an infant when Kiara left him. Kiara immediately hugs him and breaks down in tears. Isaac takes him back from Kiara and puts him to sleep, during which he confesses that he's happier than ever to have his mother back. Back in Mexico, Jack invites some notorious assassins, whom we saw earlier, to dinner. He forms a team out of those assassins to catch Isaac. He specifically asks them not to undermine Isaac and gives them some pointers on how to catch him. Contrary to them, Isaac and Kiara also join heads to strategize their next move, as they are well aware of Jack's impulsive nature. Kai also wakes up and comes to hug his mother, during which Kiara tells Isaac that she's asked for Uncle and Aunt's help. Moving forward, Kiara shows Isaac her highly modified car, which comes with all sorts of safety protocols. On the other hand, Uncle and Aunt board a flight to Colombia, during which Aunt keeps trying to track Kiara down from her laptop. In the following scene, Isaac drives Kiara's car, while she sits in the back with Kai. Isaac watches them from the front mirror and feels at peace to see his family reunited after 4 years. They also put on music and sing together for fun. However, their fun doesn't last long when they get on the highway and get caught up in thick smoke. They sense a threat, so Kiara immediately opens a compartment with a laid-back seat, where she places Kai and brings a precautionary metal structure over his ribs so he doesn't get hurt in an ambush. Finally, she puts headphones on him and closes the compartment to keep him safe and oblivious to their activities. Isaac's hunch turns out to be true when they get surrounded by several assassins on bikes who shoot red flares at them. The flares break the car's glass windows immediately, so Kiara starts taking out her sniper's components from different areas of the car and assembles them. Now, she gets out of the car's roof with her sniper and a bulletproof glass protecting her from both sides. She takes her precise aims and shoots them down one by one. They are also followed by a heavy-duty truck, so Kiara targets it first. After multiple attempts, she manages to shoot the fuel tank, which catches fire and explodes. The assassins on the bike remain undefeated and herd the car over the edge. Despite Isaac's best attempts, the car spirals out of control and falls off the edge. The car drowns in the water, which the assassins witness and update Jack on. Jack knows Isaac and Kiara's potential, so he asks the assassins to prove their death by finding the bodies. Hence, the assassins bring a helicopter to sweep the part of the ocean where the car drowned. Isaac and Kiara are saved by their car. They swim out of the water and secretly return to the woods on foot. Kiara holds Kai and cries in fear of what may happen to him next. Soon they move on and find themselves a shed, where they light a fire and rekindle their romance. On the other hand, Jack furiously beats his men for showing incompetence. The men assure him that Isaac has drowned with his family, but Jack recalls their bodies still being missing. Hence he believes that the family has escaped for sure. He fears that they might retaliate, which prompts him to form a second team to hunt them down. Furthermore, he gets on his private plane and flies to the place where Isaac was last attacked. While he's still on the plane, Kiara calls him directly and asks him for a meetup at his private island to settle their issue in person. In case he doesn't comply, she threatens to expose his dark secrets to the world. On the other hand, Aunt and Uncle arrive in Colombia and shop for a few things before getting into their van. When they get inside it, Isaac and Kai are already hiding in it. Isaac suspects them of exposing their location to the assassins because they were the only ones who knew their location through Kiara. The scenes swing back to Kiara, who drives a private boat to Jack's private island alone. When she meets Jack, he gets his men to thoroughly check her clothes and body for anything threatening. On the other hand, Aunt and Uncle drive Isaac and Kai to their safe house where they are to lie low for a while. Unbeknownst to them, Kiara is seen messing around with Jack. She deliberately gets closer to Jack and enchants him with her sweet talk, during which she reaches for his gun and shoots Jack in the chest with his own gun. She then points the gun at Jack's guards and controls them. Jack gets back up and reveals himself to be wearing a bulletproof vest, for he had predicted Kiara's cheap assassination attempt. He takes back control of his guards, who take Kiara at gunpoint. Back in Colombia, the assassins not only find the safe house but also infiltrate it without any difficulty. They shoot down Isaac's room door and capture him alive. In the meantime, Jack gets his assassins to beat Kiara up, during which she cusses at him. Hence he makes the final blow by hitting her in the face and rendering her unconscious. When she wakes up, she finds herself tied to a chair. Soon the guards bring in Isaac and tie him next to her. She also spots Kai in the guard's custody, so she smiles at him to let him know everything is fine. The guards also bring in the cuffed aunt, revealing Uncle to be the main mole who ratted out his own wife to capture Isaac's family. Jack finally confronts Isaac and Kiara and expresses his anger towards them, during which he confesses to having started the Shadow Force after quitting the CIA. Presently, he's mad at Isaac and Kiara because they kept sabotaging his mission until they brought down the Shadow Force. Now, he plans to kill them and raise Kai to become the new leader of the Shadow Force, which will be his ultimate revenge. Suddenly, two of his guards point their guns at him, exposing their cover. They are CIA agents, spying on him for months to get a confession out of him regarding the Shadow Force. Now that he's openly confessed, they have the evidence to take him into their custody. One of Jack's assassins gets up to fight them, but they shoot him down. This prompts crossfire between the remaining assassins and the CIA agents. Isaac and Kiara take advantage of the situation and free themselves. Aunt, Kiara and Isaac get hold of some guns and shoot both parties. Jack, now enraged, takes out a bigger gun and starts to hunt everyone down. After killing the agents, he plans to flee. Uncle also tries to sneak out, but he is met by Kai, who scolds him for being a traitor. Uncle gets hurt and stops to justify himself, but Aunt arrives in no time and gives Uncle the beating of his life. Isaac and Kiara thank her for protecting Kai. They hand her a gun and leave her behind to protect Kai while they get on separate speedboats and pursue the fleeing Jack. Jack's assassin shoots at them, so they shoot back. During the pursuit, Jack's boat gets into an accident and crashes in the woods. Isaac and Kiara also stop by the woods and part ways to look for Jack, who marches in a wedding and fires his gun to chase everyone away. In the final battle, Isaac fights the assassin, whereas Kiara tries to take down Jack. Jack turns out to be stronger than imagined and gives Kiara a tough time. Isaac worries for Kiara, so he goes against his rules to stab the assassin to death. By the time he finds Kiara, Jack has a gun to her head. Isaac pretends to put his gun down, but when he sees the slightest opportunity, he takes the shot. The bullet strikes Jack's skull and kills him in an instant. The couple finally unites and takes a whiff of true freedom. Scenes fast forward to 6 months, in which we see Isaac and Kiara throwing a huge birthday party for Kai. There, Kiara contacts Ant, who is working on clearing their names from the CIA so they can truly be free. Here, the movie ends.
Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe for more awesome recaps.